Monday was the first day of buck firearm season here in West Virginia, and for many in the state, it's an exciting day. If hunting in the new River Gorge or even just taking a hike along one of the many trails are in your plans, it is essential to be aware of the season as well as the regulations for hunting the gorge. Mike Teaney spoke with a park official to help remind hunters of where hunting is and is not permitted, as well as to help other visitors of the park stay safe.
The new River Gorge National Park and Preserve is somewhat of a mouthful. However, it's that preserve at the end which makes a huge difference, especially this time of year.
Generally, national parks don't allow hunting, but places like national preserves, national rivers, national recreation areas do. And that's why when we redesignated this park, it was redesignated as a national park and preserve, so that we'd still be able to hunt within the preserve areas, which is really about 90% of the park.
Hunting in the new River Gorge National Park and Preserve is mostly the same as it was when it was still a national river.
So the 4 national park areas that you're not allowed to hunt in would include the area right around Grandview, Sandstone Falls, Thurmond, and then what we call the Lower Gorge area, which is this area right here around Canyon Rim Visitor Center, from about the Nuttleburg area up till you get to the end of the park up near Hawk's Nest.
As always, the responsibility falls upon the hunter to understand where hunting is and is not permitted.
If you're a hunter and you're not really sure, you can get onto our website. We have a hunting page and there's maps on there that show you where you can hunt. And there's also the maps that show you all of the no hunting areas in the park. So that should help make that a little bit clearer for people.
Compared to most parks and preserves in the national park system, the new river is somewhat distinct.
There are several other national park and preserves in the system, but none of them were set up quite the way this one is. A lot of them are like places like Denali. Denali, there's a national park and a national preserve up in Alaska, but there's 2 separate. There's the national park, and then right next to it's the national preserve. They did this one a little bit different in the fact that there's 4 different national park areas, and they're not all contiguous. There are 4 different locations throughout the park that are designated national park, the rest of it being national preserve. That's a little unique.
Actually, there is a lot which makes this park and preserve unique.
But within the designated boundary of New River Gorge National Park and Preserve, about 70,000 acres of land, about 50,000 of that is federal land, but the rest is still private land within the boundary. So make sure that you're on federal land when you're hunting, unless you've gotten permission to hunt on private land.
Of course, hunters in the preserve are still required to follow all West Virginia DNR regulations. The park and preserve adhere to the motto of leave no trace, and if hunting in the preserve, that means no permanent tree stands or blinds. And of course, visitors to the park who are not hunters will continue to move through the park.
For anybody hiking, I would recommend trying to stay to the areas designated as national parks. So up here by, our most popular trails up here in the Canyon Rim area are fine. Anywhere up at Grandview, I'd try to avoid the trails in the preserve, or if you are going to hike in the preserve areas, at least wear some bright orange. It's also a good time of year to hike in some of the local state parks. Hunting's not allowed in any of the state parks within West Virginia.
From the Canyon Rim Visitor Center in Fayette County, this is Mike Teaney, Newswatch 4.